Now for a quick Devar Torah. This week's Parsha is a double Parsha, as we know, Acharei Mot Kedoshim. As I mentioned, it's the bridge between the ritual of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and building a just society. It's no accident that these two Parshiot are put together, because the Torah is saying without one you can't have the other. You need both. And it's also interesting that this week we had as well Yom HaZikaron, L'Chalei Tzahal, Israeli Memorial Day for the fallen soldiers, and we had Israel Independence Day right afterwards. So how does this all tie together? Basically, Kedoshim and this week's Haftorah really is what ties everything together. This week's Haftorah comes from Amos, and Amos is saying, yes, we're chosen. God gave us this land. He didn't give us this land that we should live and be fat. We have a mission to the world. Our mission is not political. It is to build a just society. And while God gave us the land, there's no guarantee that we'll stay in the land if we do not have a just society. You can have the strongest army in the world, but if your society is not just, then that army will not operate. Also the economy. If the society is not just, the economy will fall. There was an economist of the last century, Friedrich Hayek, and he himself was an agnostic. He was agnostic when it came to religion. But he said something interesting. For an economy to be good, you need a religious society, you need a moral society behind it. And that's basically what the Torah is saying. For the country to be good, you need that there be a moral society. And the morality comes from the Torah. You know, we make comments like, I know the atheists say, well, people are naturally moral. People are not naturally moral. All you have to do is look at the history of the world. And you see that there's problems with that theory. When you realize that people, when left to their own devices, will not be moral, then you work from there to build a moral society. So this is one of the things that when Israel was becoming a state, the question was, will it be a Jewish state or a state of Jews? You know, will it be a state where the majority of the people happen to be Jewish, or will it have a Jewish background? And even though many of the founders were far from being religious, they still had the Jewish background that they could build a just society. So that Israel's famous not just for its military power and the fact that the economy is one of the strongest in the world, but it's also famous for another factor that people don't realize, that it's a moral and just society. That when Ethiopian Jews arrived in Israel in Operation Solomon, and they came literally with nothing but the clothes on their back. So the government sent out a message on a Sunday, we need donations of things for these people, you know, clothes, etc. Monday morning, they gave out a new statement. Please stop giving. We have more than enough already. Within one day, people just gave. That it is, you know, it's like a very famous thing that at a non-Jewish wedding, you know, you don't have uninvited guests. You'll have people making sure there are no uninvited guests at the wedding. At a Jewish wedding, you'll have uninvited guests. I was told when I got married in Tzfat to expect that 1/4 of the people at my reception will not be people I invited. You know, and they said, you just accept it. This is the Jewish way of doing it.
What kind of gifts do you
Anyway, but this is what Amos is coming to tell us. If you want God's promises, It's a deal. It's not a one-way street. God says, I'm going to do this for you, but you have to do this for me. You have to have a just society and treat everybody with equal justice. And that's the message of Amos and how it ties in. Something to think about.